All right, so this is a time when we will create a sub workflow. Because if you see this workflow here, we have something that is pretty much needed for evaluating an email response, literally this box. And everything in this area that you see, this is entirely for call initiation and call getting the email, the call transcript. The only thing that will change is this particular node, which is going to be the email receiving. So somebody, when they respond to an email, we're going to take that email just as if it is a transcript of a phone call. We're assuming and building this for the happy path, but for a production grade, you can imagine you need to consider and build for all the edge cases. So the idea is that we'll create literally this entire box as a sub workflow, use it in this workflow here, and also create a new workflow which is triggered by the time when we receive an email. So the idea is that the moment I reply back to this email, I want to receive the email, the body of the email inside that workflow, and then I create that sub workflow and then pass this information to that sub workflow. So let's go and create the sub workflow first. I'm going to click create all of these ones, right click, and then click on convert 8 nodes to sub workflow. And then we call this workflow something to do with evaluate lead. Okay, now this is the sub workflow that is collapsed inside this one node. And if we open this, you can see that it already created all the parameters that it needs, and it passed all the parameters right there. And in order to test if this worked perfectly fine, we are going to execute this. I received the phone call. I'm going to cut the phone call, and we're going to go to the email. I should have received another email because there was another cut call, and then everything is working fine. So the sub workflow works fine perfectly. Now I'm going to create another workflow here, and this time it's going to be a Gmail trigger that is on message received. The moment somebody sends me an email in my inbox, Emil Sire, I'm going to receive that. And the interval that I can check is set in here. So I can check every minute or every hour or every day, every week, and so on. Or alternatively, I can also create a so-called custom cron expression. There are cron expression formats that you can set here. And if you take this as an example, it can go very, very sophisticated. What I would suggest if you want to kind of like create these cron jobs or cron expressions, search for cron expression builder online. There are cron expression builders where you can set it up, not that one, probably something like this, for example. You can say every 9 seconds of a specific date and specific range of dates and so on. Or alternatively, you can also go to ChatGPT and then ask, create a cron expression that would trigger on every first Sunday of the month at 10 a.m. So this is a very, very specific instance. It's a small detour, but just want to make sure that you understand how complex a cron job can be. And then that's how you can do that. So literally that this part is the cron expression that you can bring it here and then paste it here as a custom, in here as a custom cron expression, and then it goes in that direction. But for now, every minute is good enough for us, or even every hour for me, it's fine, because the next hour I'm going to evaluate all the people who responded to my emails. So every minute is fine for me. I'm going to click on fetch test, which will basically bring all the emails or all the latest emails for me, which you can see here. The email was brought in. I'm going to just pen it here so that we don't need to wait for every minute or resend it. And then we will need to do something with this email. What is it that we need to do? It's that sub workflow that we have created. So basically, we're going to execute that sub workflow. And then that sub workflow is going to, which is evaluate lead, is going to get all of these information. So we need the transcript, which is going to be the email body, the snippet of the email body. The transcript length, body, full name, email address, and so on. They can, for now, we can just leave some placeholders. We'll come back to that because the sub workflow needs to be optimized to not ask these questions, because we just need the transcript in order to evaluate something, or latest, at least the email address, because that's how we can uniquely identify a person, and that's exactly what we have in the email address. Or at least when somebody responds back, we at least have their email address, probably not their phone number and stuff like that. And an email is unique enough to identify a person or a candidate or a lead in our database system. So the rest of them that I have added this AA for now will be changed to the sub workflow. We can change it to be done properly. Okay, so now what we're doing is we're taking the email as soon as it comes, or a reply comes to our email. We're gonna execute the workflow back again. I'm gonna now go to my email address and reply here by doing this. Yes, I can give 20 hours if needed. And then here, yes, I know a bit of n8n and vibe coding, but would love to learn more. So I'm going to send this and then go back to my workflow, re-execute or refetch this so that this new email comes to me with all the answers. This is not there yet. So this email should be arriving anytime now. There we go. So yes, I can give 20 hours. So this snippet is the required data set that we need, or the required text that we need to send in here. So we have the snippet in here, trying to change the comparison. Okay, and then we have the length. Maybe that's the error that it has. Condition 0, full name. There must be something that is maybe the conversation. That's also text. Okay, the something is expecting an array. Well, we can also delete them and see. Maybe we can just right now optimize this workflow and see what we don't need to pass and then we don't need to pass. Okay, so then let's go to the other workflow. Let's name this to received email. And we are going to optimize our evaluate lead workflow, which is basically this starting workflow, which will have an if condition based on the transcript if it's an array. Okay, now I understand that, because we had the transcript as an array, therefore now we are sending this transcript as a just as a text. What we will need to change is, in here, the transcript has to be sent as an array of the string that is coming here. So we're going to execute to get the latest email, append this, and then now this transcript is just a string. Now if we put it here, it's going to be an array of that string inside that. Perhaps we can also create a little object from this by passing the email body, and then all of that transcript is the email body. And then now if we execute this, the sub workflow will work, and the evaluation has happened, and hopefully we have a new record here with all the evaluations done in here. There we go. All the evaluations has been done. And then in here, we don't have, like the old time with the phone call, an object like this for the transcription, but it's just kind of like the entire email, having all the answers inside that, like, yes, I can give 20 hours, and so on. And then all the questions that we have asked, I'm gonna quickly freeze this one row so that we can see what are the expected outcomes in here. So the as at least 10 hours, that could have not been extracted, but anyways, this is an LLM. It's fine with asynchronous communication. Yes, I can give 20 hours if needed. Yes, I can give 20 hours if needed. Need financial support. It somehow misplaced the columns, which we can check in a minute. But the most important part is this. Is it a good fit? I said it. The system says yes. And also candidate seems committed and has relevant knowledge. The only problem right now we are seeing is that these two little columns are misplaced in the wrong places. All right. Other than that, we do see that it's working fine. It doesn't have the LinkedIn and so on. That's absolutely fine, because once we move this data into Supabase, then it's going to be its own table, and this is as it's expected to be. Like, email address is a unique identifier. We can identify uniquely these particular records. So let's go to this evaluate lead execution, the last one that was done, this one, and find out why the structured output brought us wrong results. So yes, I can give, well, the results are not incorrect here. The results are correctly done. Has at least 20 hours, yes. Need financial support, no. Is it a good fit? Yes. So something wrong with the mapping of these data, like need financial support. Perhaps the columns, oh, I see, these two columns were newly added and therefore everything is pushed. So we are going to copy this to the editor, and then apparently this one needs to be remapped if that's the case. We don't need these two columns to be sent away. And if we execute this, and it's fine with async, yes. All right, so what we can do is fine with, we can remap them, because also I'm seeing that this is gray color. That means the mapping is broken, so we can quickly remap it. And as 10 hours. Needs financial support. Is a good fit. I think is a good fit was correctly done, but it's okay. Okay, so now if I re-execute all of this data with the email address being as a part of the start of this workflow, it will go here and it will save it in this workflow. And apparently it saved it in the, yep, now it is fixed, because now it says not mentioned because the financial support was not mentioned. Is the good fit? Yes, I know a bit of, yeah, that seems to be very correctly done. All right, so we have come a long way. Now we have an n8n workflow that can work with email communication. Each back and forth email communication will trigger one new row in our Google Sheet, but as it's just educational content, it does not cover all the edge cases. I encourage you to create all the edge cases yourself. And with this, we are coming very close to the end of n8n section. In the next videos, we will go and switch from Google Sheets to Supabase. And then after that, we'll start our vibe coding session.